So we're going to do a walkthrough on how we took one of our clients from 0 to 350,000 subscribers in 6 months with $0 and this was a wild process. So I want to walk you through all of it, what it takes for your team to do, how you can implement it yourself. This is what's going to make your marketing and your branding perform at the highest level. I mean, you got to treat this like a sport. The game changes every day. The algorithms change, the platforms change. So you just got to be on high alert and play like you're playing, a high level offense here. So a little bit about me. I am the CEO of Evy Media. We've been doing this for 6 years now. Evy Media has been alive for 5 years of that. So it's been a wild journey. We've got over 150 million views in the past 12 months just from organic views, and that's with $0 as well. So we love to build the attention side of things. We also do ads. We're big into that world as well. We love that. But this is just how you can build an ad strategy and put it on steroids. And it starts with how you perform and play, your organic. So let's walk through it. We'll start off with a video from Bradley when we were filming with him in a podcast.
All right, we're out here in downtown Nashville, Tennessee, end of 2024, rolling into 2025. We're producing with Bradley here. What's one thing we want to give to somebody going into 2025? A little update, tip.
Build yourself a personal brand, folks. It's not that difficult. All it takes is a little bit of consistency and the willingness to put yourself out there. Don't create the content, be the content. That's my best advice. And I'd do it if I were you, because a year from now is going to be a year from now, whether you do it or not. So the only question is are you going to be somebody?
That's right, baby. And he's exactly right. You need to be more raw with your content. Do we have to be as controversial as Brad is going to be?
I ain't controversial.
But he wants to push some fucking buttons, and that's what we're going to do, baby. So he keeps it real. He gets real attention from it, but he puts in real work with real authentic content, and that's the secret to this game. It's play full-scale offense. Put your stories out in a way that people actually give a shit about. No one cares about the salesy bullshit. Get out there and be real with people. So let's go, baby. 2025.
Or better said, quit being a biatch.
That's Bradley. He does some wild content. I'm sure a lot of you guys, don't support him. You do support him. You love him. You think he's hilarious. There's a ton of perspectives there. But we've worked with just people that have, incredible amount of following. They do this at a high level. And from, with Andy Elliott there's Tim Grover, to the Bradleys of the world. I mean, they're playing this game at a high level. And if you look at them, they're in the top. They're rock stars in their industry. Love them or hate them, they get attention. And that's what this is all about, is how can you get attention? How can you build a system that converts that attention? And doing it in a way that's not like sleazy and buying fake followers or doing any, shady bullshit, if you will. Attention's everything. This is just kind of showing you some numbers, what we did with Coach Burt. Right here he's rotating at 12 million just on Instagram. And that's real engagement, not paid engagement. This is just how you play the game to get real numbers. Attention is the currency that you need to be playing in. You've got to be playing this at a high level to where, it's a saturated market. I get it. So many people are putting out content. You don't know what to do. But you need to start playing with formats, and you need to understand your consumer a little bit. And the best place to start is typically with the pain points that already exist in the business for that customer experience that you solve. That just starts to intro your content in, so you start to put something out. But we don't want to keep it only about your product either. People don't just continue to, build a community around nothing but you just talking about your product or service. There's a way to connect with people, even if they're your ideal customer. A lot of them are, sports fans or fans of certain things. There's stories you can relate and then bring it back into, a problem you solve, or just talk about shit. You want to make friends with people. You're building trust. Start playing with formats that can get you closer to that, and don't just get on there and talk about your product that no one really gives a shit about yet. You got to play a game to build the trust to make someone actually give a shit. So that's why we play the attention game. So like this slide says, visibility isn't luxury, it's a leverage. It leverages you to maneuver your way up the ladder to better revenue, bigger stages, bigger podcasts to share other audiences, to grow yours even further, and strategic partnerships. And then also the ultimate thing that we're going for is trust. We need people to trust you and your service and your company to make sure that they're actually in good hands and not just getting, thrown around with some goofy, sleazy, shitty company. Why this matters. Being unknown kills opportunity. Trust comes before traffic, and systems will beat luck. So this is just, at first it is testing, but you actually build A database is what we're doing here. We need data to actually tell us a story to maneuver what we're going to do. And the ultimate goal here is we don't want to be famous. Like, that's the last thing. We don't want to be famous and just do stupid shit. The biggest thing we want and the ultimate thing we all need across our companies, our businesses, our personal brands is for the consumer to trust you. And I will say this so many times because this is how you get the consumer to actually trust you. You think of yourself like a media company, even if you're not. And you got to put out stuff that people are actually going to be, a little bit interested to. And you're not going to be for everybody. Like, the goal isn't in your mind, like, I need millions of followers, millions of this, or I need this 350,000 subscribers. Like, that's cool. That's vanity. And that's, always a good thing because you can continue to leverage even more things. But if you continue, like, you need that in the first 6 months for what you do, like, you're not going to go far. You know what I mean? You're going to make just terrible stuff and you're pushing something in your head that, may not be. Like, it takes reps. You need to, continuously put them in and develop the system to your teams to really push the needle. Now, can you get these results in 6 months or less? 100%. We've done it. Other people have done it, and we've done it in a relation to make the consumer trust that person more, not just, Charlie D'Amelio dances on TikTok. Those happen as well, where she danced one time and she got millions of viewers and followers and just kept putting out content like that. And then boom, brand deals came, all this stuff. Like, there's anomalies, of course, in every part of the universe. But this isn't how you want to play. This is a long tail approach, but this is how you go to battle day to day with these concepts. This is Coach Burt. I mean, he had like 30,000 maybe followers across the board here, but just no engagement, not continuous growth. It was just like, okay. We need to turn up the volume here. And I was just kind of, doing some content for him. He had another team that was doing things for him at the time. Then one day he was like, you know what, let's pull the trigger. I want you guys to take off. And I mean, and honestly, once we packaged up the content, like, and we'll get into it more, I mean, like, there is a bit of a science here where you don't want to just check the box and just put out shit because you're supposed to put out content. Like, you really want to take this approach with the data, with the consumer, and build your hook points in here. Like, get music that matches the tonality, tell better stories, like, and just continue to iterate and adjust and get better on these little pieces. And then you'll start to, gain that audience and you'll gain that trust within your industry and, even further. So he's a best-selling author. He's a very high trusted brand now. I mean, he's really killing it. I mean, he's made millions of dollars from what we've done, and we didn't even get to spend any of this towards ads at that time. We built that off $0, 0 cents, complete organic marketing. And in his first week, we made a piece of content go viral, and he actually got invited on stage where Tiki Barber was going to speak, but they hired Coach Burt instead because Tiki Barber had his kid's birthday, and then he doubled his rates. He's like, I'm not missing my kid's birthday. Anyway, Coach Burt ended up getting that just because of that viral piece hit the right eyes at the right time, and then he got hired on, and that was $25,000 speaking fee in his first week. So that's a pretty good ROI for our fees. Now he's had over 30 million views across his organic content, and then, like I said, the 350,000 followers. Right here, this slide, and I like the little faces here. I like to. I think a lot of slideshows are boring, so I try to not make it boring as shit. So, random content equals no conversion. I mean, you have to start a little bit random, but come at it with a purpose. So, like, until the data starts to feed back, I mean, it kind of is random, it's testing, but if you are already deep in the game, you should already have internal data and, external data. And hopefully you have someone that can read this data so you can actually, develop your concepts better and film better things. You can only put out terrible shit for so long. Like, you should be adjusting. That's the name of the game. Like, play this as a performance-based in your head, just how you built your business or your brand that you currently have. Like, it never stops. Like, you can reiterate and do better every single day. So, like, get ready to go to battle. And it's fun, man. This will change your life and it'll change your business. Random content, start until you can get that data back. But then it becomes a system. And as we keep going further, this will start clicking for you as well. No cadence equals no trust. So we even get to that too. Here in a minute, I'll tell you how many times you should be posting a day minimum across each of the platforms and what platforms. And we'll even go over hot times to post as well. So, and then no backend systems equals no revenue. So once you build attention, you want to be able to flood it through, the different systems, whether that's, landing pages, websites. To be able to get them into your CRM, you need to be able to, make sure that all that's ready. Like, backend can take in, email. As soon as they get in the email, like make sure they're getting nurtured as well and in a non-sleazy way. Like this is how you tighten up a back-end system too if you already currently have one. Because you got to think about this, like if you're wanting to test a broken sink, see where the pipes are, you want to flood it with water, that's how you're going to know. It's the same concept here. You want to flood everything with attention, push it through, and then kind of see where the breaks are. The data tells you the story. Like look through where the consumer's falling off at, where they're falling off at, and how are our nurture sequences? Are we even nurturing? Like there needs to be, a cadence to how you do everything, and there needs to be a back-end system ready to even take that customer in. Back-end system is super important. So the new game, the 4-part content engine. Authority content is mainly making you the authority within your industry that you already are in. Like I said, the ultimate goal here is we don't want to be famous. You want to be famous in your industry. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, really, to build that trust, to grow into bigger partnerships, to, obviously convert customers a hell of a lot better. But you need to start an authority-based cadence. So it's like, that's why I always say start with pain points, because you're solving these problems every day. You're at the head of all the problems. You built this company or this service, or you're backing this company or this service to make sure that it actually does its job. So talk about it. Like you understand what the pain points are already. You know what the customer could be having a better life if they did da-da-da-da-da. So like there's going to be a laundry list, and if you can't think of something, get a couple people together. I'm sure you can come with a list of 25. And from that 25, you should be able to subcategory just a bunch of different perspectives. Like this is your business. There should be some things you can talk about, but then get creative with it. Like start like playing with hooks. And if you don't have any clue on even how to start or do any of that, like make ChatGPT your best friend. Let's just start with pain points. Like okay, I'm freaking in the insurance industry, and this is a regulated space, so you got to get creative here. Grab 30 categories. I can start. Don't just freaking copy and paste this shit over. Use it as a creative partner, if you will. Like you want to help jog your memory. If you got writer's block, if you want to go deeper on a concept with yourself, like treat it like your business diary, your execution diary, whatever. Like this gives you objective data back to really, help you move forward. Most people that you communicate with are probably going to give you subjective data or not talk to you just as straightforward as this will. And make sure it doesn't baby you, because I think sometimes it does. So like just tell it like, hey, be a little hard on me or whatever. Use it as a proper tool. Don't just copy and paste and read from a teleprompter or some shit. Confusion about Medicare options. So I mean, right there, you can just go down. This is where that subcategory list goes into. Start building right off here, and then like it's like, okay, now I got my list. Da 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 da. I'm not going to go through all these. I'm just kind of showing you as an easy concept. Now give me to entice. I don't think there we go. And use these hook points, like read these off, obviously, but then like use it as what to dive into next. So like if this is my company, like okay, so Medicare isn't designed to protect you, it's designed to confuse you. And then boom, roll into your body of it, why? Obviously make sure you tell a story, like, and then bring it home, like on the back end, what the full tale of it is. So like it's like hook point, here's the middle of your story, and then finish it off with what the hell we just all talked about, what the final is, and then let it loop back comfortably. Like, but you want hook points. It's the absolute most important metric. Watch time. Like how many people are watching it, and how long are they watching it? So this is going to help at least extend the watch time to start, and start putting in reps to, get creative with your approach. Like don't check the box when you're making content. You need to over-deliver for your consumer. You don't want to just half-ass it. So get creative, start diving in on concepts. It's uncomfortable at first if you haven't started. If you already started, make sure you're getting stronger. Do better. Authority content, cadence and rhythm, content engine, conversion infrastructure. That's all we're going to go over here. And this just builds you into a high-level offense that, actually performs in your marketing and your branding.
And if you're watching my videos on Reels right now, or you come to me because you watch my Reels, which a lot of people are, I've paid people to do Reels before, but they didn't convert. I mean, I thought they were great. They were packaged. They were cute, but I didn't get one lead from it. I hired Bradley, who's in the back videoing this today. He changed my Reels. He used his formula, secret sauce, music, capture me in the right moments, maybe the most controversial things I say. Then he packages them up. And what is the result of that, Bradley? How's the numbers jump? 2,000% increase in 30 days. Same Coach Burt, same, right? Same content, just better packaged.
I mean, that's just like the premise of everything that I've talked to, about leading up to this moment. It's all in the packaging. Like, treat this like TV. How do you get consumers to actually watch your TV so you can sell it to networks and get bigger ads on it in a nice way that you can communicate to people that builds a community? And this is just how it's done. So authority content, teach what you know. I just dove into that part, and how to even get into ChatGPT to really start getting your creative brain rolling so you can actually come up with cool concepts or nice concepts to talk about. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. I've done it in all regulated spaces. I made a smoke shop owner have millions of views as well. And that's not the goal as well as millions of views, but I mean, attention, we all want attention for our companies. And that's what, it changed his business as well. There's things you're going to have to skirt around and work in there to make it proper, but there's no excuse not to grow. Show social proof. Most of you that are watching this have already done something or took your business to a certain level. So you're just kind of building in reverse engineer concepts that show the consumer that you are, the person that's for them. And what I'm mainly saying is, like, as you're dropping in all of this content and it's value driven, and that's what's really going to build up that trust and shows that social proof as well, but also dive into like the wins that you have, the people you're working with, all of that as well. I mean, that just kind of just shows and builds into that community, so it makes them even trust you, even more. And this really comes into the nurture sequences as well. When I say nurture for social, it's a lot of that's through, stories that you're putting out, and then static post if you're doing that on Instagram. A lot of that will hit mainly just your audience. Video reels are constantly fishing for a new audience. Don't get weirded out when you see lower numbers on those to start or in different variations. Whether you're starting or going heavy right now, those are always fishing for new audiences. It's a wild game, but that's how you do that. But you want to also nurture the people that are coming in to follow you, because only a certain percentage of them actually see the video content once they start following you. Like, it could be even like the cadence, like they might have something on their For You feed that's something from like 7 days ago that's finally playing for them. So it's a different way to handle, you're building your new audience, and then how to handle your current audience too. And then build trust through behind the scenes and core beliefs. And, I dove into that right there. Is like building that trust through the nurture. Like the stories on social, like at the top where your stories are to tell people, but also getting in depth with your stories and adjusting and creating, better formats as you continue to go. So the weekly cadence, and this is, cheers to you. This is the answers that a lot of you guys are going to look for. So you want 14 reels a week, and you want 3 long form videos a week. That's the minimum of what you want. You want 2 posts per day across your platforms. And we'll dive in here in a minute on all the platforms that you're going to be posting on, and we'll get more in depth on that. But that's the minimum of what you need. And when people hear that, they think, well, shit, I'm going to be filming all the time. No, you really don't have to. Like, really, you can set up 1 day a month where you're kind of just batching out content. I mean, we have a client in the industry, insurance industry. I think we film for once every like 2 months, and he's crushing it. But prepare to make a bulk day. Like, maybe it is a couple hour day, minimum for that if you're going to plan for a 1 day shoot. But mainly what I'm getting at, there's no excuse for you not to be, still performing, even if your schedule's tight and you can't film content. And then if you want to revert back to what Brad said at the beginning of this, is be the content. Like, a lot of times you're putting out fires, you're already entertaining things throughout the day with communication. Like, stick a camera up, put a mic on in the most place you saw problems, and then that documenting content actually will perform, a lot of times better than you trying to force content. That natural come off, you'll just be able to fire and just roll out and communicate and talk at a high level. And people feel the authenticity of that, and that's what you want at the end of the day. You don't want to be sleazy, salesy, shitty, all up in their face. Like, be careful with the formats you film as well. Like, if you see ads that are like fit into a certain format, make sure you're not putting out organic content that looks like ads. They're going to immediately scroll. You're going to lose trust and validation immediately, and it's going to be a lot harder for you. So, like, there's little nuances to this, but these are good mental notes to keep track of. And then plan that day out. Like, most of you guys, I know you already have your months out, probably pre-built on Google Calendar. So make sure you're putting in a content day. And that can vary, but put it in your calendar. Make sure you're filming. Like I said, we have someone that has millions of views. They film once every 2 months, and they're killing it with $0 and 0 cents in ads for that. But now now we've built up that attention. We are building out an entire ad strategy to really start converting the attention we've started to bring them. But yeah, this will start to build your output machine, and we'll go deeper on that. But that's minimum 14 reels. That's 2 videos per day across the platforms, and then tweak them with the platforms. Don't just have one format and paste it across all of them. And we'll get into the times to post here as well. But get in there, get in the dirt a little bit, and get gritty with this, or get your team in the dirt to make sure they're treating this like we want to win Super Bowls at the end of the day. And I say that with our team all the time. It's like we're all professionals. We treat it like that. Like it doesn't matter if we went 10-0 up to this point. We're at another game and we still got to lace our cleats up and it's time to go to battle. So that's how you want to treat everything that you do. Okay, so you want SOPs for content, and you've probably already built some. You already have a business that's doing pretty well right now, so you need to play this into the same thing. It's just a new arm of your business. So you want SOPs for this. So as of now, say if you're starting, you mainly want to imitate some very popular content that's kind of close to your personality, but build an SOP against that. Like as you're filming it and you're getting it edited for formats, like start building in easy checklist for them to reference. It takes the questions out of it, and maybe if it's not SOPs to start, just show them the people that you're talking about and make them build the SOPs as well. Because I mean, they're creative, they're going to want to take leadership on some of these roles, so like give them the freedom to do so. If that's too much for you to build the SOPs against it, you just give them the formats of the people. Like, hey, I love Gary Vee, I want to be similar to that format, I like how he filmed this, and let's test that. That room to reverse engineer the end result to what you're looking to get. And then we're just going to keep looking at the data and then just going back to the drawing board and then executing different. And you want editors trained on performance. Like you want them to be looking at this, not like we're just checking the box, putting out stories. You have an end result in your mind that you want for your company, your personal brand. Like feed that vision into them as well and make them feel like, this is bigger than what just making a video and putting it out. Like you need to make them feel like these are micro movies going out to really help people to really start building attention around the problems that you solve, or anything, rather like it's the problems you solve or you just want to entertain people. It's the same game. You want them pushing the numbers up. How many views did we get on this? What's our watch time looking like? You want them feeling that too, because that pressure is good for continuing to get better performance. So you want them to have a performance mindset and be super coachable. And there's a 2-step review process. Like get more eyeballs on it. More than likely, unless it's one-man team and they're like taking all the content, editing it out, and posting it and stuff like that, get someone else in the company to look at some stuff, or you look at it. But sometimes that's bad because you're too close to your own self and you'll make bad decisions. But get some more eyeballs on it as things are going out. But at the end of the day, testing it and testing against new eyeballs on the platforms is one way you do it as well. But having another person close to you or near you is always good to kind of review content, build some formats up against it. And this is mainly like if you're beginners. If you're already in this game and you're already deep into it, implement that into it if you haven't started. More minds into what you're doing and what is being posted out there will just kind of help you continue to shape. And then data is your best friend at the end of the day. Competition-based hiring. I've wasted thousands of dollars and hours and training and all this stuff for editors that are just, they're not coachable. They can't even really adapt to the formats. It wasn't a good fit. So we kind of came up with a competition-based hiring. So everybody gets a shot. We put out something on Indeed, and, everybody that applies, full messages will go out to all of them, because we get hundreds of them. Like we'll put out an Indeed job for editors and we get 300 of them. So there's a Google Drive folder that will link into the message and say, hey, we're pumped that you are looking to join our team. We'd love to see what you're made of. So we actually built a test for all of our editors. Click this link and it'll have a video, music to play, and then I even put like a little format recording in there. Like it's screen recording me walking them through on how I would do an edit and kind of tweaking the things in the platform to make it easier for them on what we want on the end result. And then this just doesn't waste time, because you're not sitting in there with picking up the phone, looking at resumes. Like I don't give a shit about the resumes at the end of the day. So out of that 300, you're typically going to get like maybe 50 of them that do it. Out of that 50, there's going to be like maybe 5 that are even good. So you pull that 5 out, and then now you're not wasting phone calls. You get on the phone with that 5, you find out if they're coachable, like what's their dream for, their life and their vision and stuff like that. You start to get to know them, but it just dilutes all the wasted things and money and all this off the guessing side of things. And it weeds them out real quick, because that 250 that didn't do the test is like, they're not a good fit. Like, you don't want them in your company anyway. They can't even go out of the way to just throw out a little test on a 30-second video. It's like, then you don't need to be here. I want to see what you can do for me, not what you've done with other people. I want to see my formats adapted to me. So that's how you really want to play this. And then you'll start to find really good people that are coachable. I'm sure you've already hired a bunch of people already, so you'll know what you want for, your brand, like how they're representing it. That's the same thing for social as well. You can test them within social media tests that you can push out through Indeed that are already embedded in the platform. All you gotta do is click on the social media button, and that just shows they actually know a little bit of what the hell they're talking about. And then tell them immediately, like, they need to be dropping in links to somebody they've worked with, and then have them drop in like a personal video as well, just like what they're trying to do and build, and like that will weed out most of them. Nobody wants to put out a video themselves, and if you get 50 people applying, you're probably gonna get 10 of those people that actually do the video, and you'll weed out the goofballs, and you can keep going. But we are on step 4 now. So we've already went over, let's just roll back, the authority-based content, the weekly cadence, and that's just the minimum cadence. 14 reels and 3 long-form pieces of content. You can get away with 1, but if you want to push the needle heavy and get data back fast, this is the minimum what you want to do. But you don't want to go any lower than 1 YouTube long-form going out per week. This just builds more trust and validation within what you're doing. And then obviously step 3 is just this content engine, and this is just how you get to pump this engine through. It's just this is a people's game at the end of the day. AI hasn't been able to fully edit content yet. If you're trying to use those, good luck. They're kind of shitty right now. But step 4, conversion infrastructure. So this is where everything comes in. Now we're pushing some attention up. We're doing good on our platforms. We're getting 2 posts out per day. We're getting our YouTube long form with good thumbnails and a good cadence on all of this. And we're starting to build up some attention. Say it's not even a ton of attention, but things are starting to look good. We need to make sure we have the back-end systems to even take on new people in a proper way. And you gotta make sure your company's even ready for it too. So say that we are good on all these fronts, like now it's time to build a system that can bring in these people without your hands being on every step of it. So like, get your CRM in order. We love Go High Level. There's multiple out there. We just like the new tools that they keep integrating with this. And you can kind of white label your CRM experience based on your industry. So I do like that part of it, but you need to have a CRM. And you need to be able to build in the customer flow experience. Like once they enter the database, how are they getting nurtured? And are there multiple buckets to the nurture system based on the action that they took or what they signed up for? And it needs to make sense towards what you're doing. So like they hit the CRM, once they sign up, there needs to be some email or SMS that's a non-sleazy, shitty way of talking to someone, and give them a story, like a piece of content that went through, or like, depends on what it is. Like there's probably steps to solve a certain problem that you can talk about in a creative way, and that could be through written word as well. Like use that, but you need to be building out nurture sequences to really get these people through, and you need to have landing pages optimized to make sure you're not losing your people, before they even get into the CRM. Make sure your landing pages are good, read the data against it and where they're falling off at, what pages they're going off at, how far they went down the page, all of it. What are they clicking on? And then that's data for who didn't take an action. And then all the people that did take an action, did they end up nurturing to make a purchase, or are they just chilling in your email database, and who is all in there? Like I said, then you get to start developing the creative, fun ways to really start nurturing them to make that purchase, and building funnel flow experience through the back end that puts them in the correct buckets. And then even if it's just getting them onto a phone call, you want to make sure that system's ready, the calendar is already automated, and you don't have multiple touches of people getting there and for just to set an appointment or getting an email over there. You know what I mean? Like there's a simplified way, and this is what we want to dive into once we start building up that attention. The SMS nurture funnel as well. Some people get sleazy with this. Like I said, you need to get creative and really bring value on all these nurture sequences. It's not just say, hey, buy this. It's nurture, 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 and maybe at the bottom of it, there's a nice call to action that's creative towards the story that you just told. And then make sure those booking flows are obviously dialed in. You want to make sure you don't have someone in your company or an assistant, stuck on a bunch of micro problems when this can all be automated. So just make sure you are automating the areas that can be. And then the customer experience, like take all this data into one whole perspective and talk to them too. Like your customers will feed you the best data ever, like once you actually ask them questions about their experience and everything too. So the ones that did make a buy, like get them on a phone call and talk to them. have people, ask them if they need anything else, and then throw a small question in like, how was the process? Da 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 da. Did you, anything that you think we could do better? Like, you can always ask those questions to get feedback to always make things, a better experience. They'll tell you where they got annoyed at in the process. They don't care. They want to help you. Talk to them, and you'll create a better customer experience for them. So let's just fully kind of circle this in. Like I said, the CRM tagging, you want to make sure that is all built out. You've already got it. They can handle the back end and start to automate some of these next things, which is that SMS nurture funnel, or the email funnel, to the booking flows and how they're going through the ascension ladder. And I'm not going to dive deep onto all these little nuances. I feel like most of the people in here probably already know most of the things I'm talking about. And then the booking flows. Like, obviously, we need to make sure those are automated, and you don't want to spend a bunch of money on people just doing minimal tasks that can be, automated. And like I said, that customer experience, the data is going to give you that, and then talk to them. Talk to the ones that do buy from you. They'll give you the data back on the experience that they wish they had. Through all of these little slides that we put together here, this is, the results that Coach Burt did just by implementing these as well. And I love memes, and I like to keep this fun. So here's a nice meme, new results. This is you checking them out. The pass is like, shit. But that's how it goes. Like, play this game like this, and hopefully that's you. So this is what Coach Burt got once he implemented this. And we did most of this in 6 months. The 30 million views, I think, was a little bit like combined at a later time too. So I don't know how many millions of views we had at that time. But he picked up 350,000 plus additional subscribers and followers. Inbound deal flow, it connected that trust that we're talking about. Like, it ultimately showed that he wasn't sleazy. He solved a problem. He brought an authenticity to the way he was coming in front of people, and it just brought people to him. And that's the ultimate goal here, is to get more eyeballs on us in a trustworthy way, not a shitty, sleazy way. He got a lot of strategic partners out of this. I can't tell you how much business he does within his network of just people that either come in for his coaching programs, and then people that just see his content. Like, he's had people invest in the Greatness Factory, hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in them just from seeing some reels on Facebook that really brought the attention to him, and they started trusting him. So, like, you can do some crazy stuff here once you really start to connect the trust points. He's been a podcast guest on really big podcasts. We validated him across this big industry with business coaching. There's a lot of them. So once you do it properly, the bigger names start knocking, and they'll let you come on their podcast. You'll pick up new audiences from them and a lot of new business from their audiences. And then millions of dollars have been generated for his company, Michael Burt Enterprises, since we've done this. And this is, like I said, $0 and 0 cents in marketing. This is just taking a community-based approach and a performance model underneath of it, backed with continuous iteration within what we're putting out. And this is what starts to connect these trust factors across your platforms and to your consumer. It pinpoints all the weak areas in your company. Like, once you build up a bunch of attention and you're converting or not converting or whatever, and it flows in, you're going to find the holes in your systems really quick. Like, do you have a product problem? Do you have a marketing problem? Is it a sales problem? Is it a nurture problem? Once you flood this with attention, this pinpoints all of it. You'll find all the holes within each division or arm within the company, and you can actually develop a hell of a lot tighter of a system, all because you're building a performance-based marketing approach through organic social. What we didn't do, we didn't buy any followers. We didn't pay for people to watch or comment on our stuff. That is the sleaziest shit that I've seen. I've seen people that have talked to us and wanted to do business, and they ended up taking that route, and it just looks ridiculous. I was looking at one yesterday, and the comments that they would get that through the paid, it also automates the responses back, and they didn't even match. Like, they would just ask a stupid question, or this person would come in, and it would just be an irrelevant response. It didn't even make sense to it. So it's like, just don't do that. So stupid. Don't buy followers. People can smell that shit from a mile away. So you don't take that approach to marketing. This is a long tail game, and you can get crazy results in 6 months. You've seen that with Coach Burt, and that's with zero sleazy shit. So play the game right. You can do it in 6 months, but we're playing to build a legacy here. We're playing to build better wealth for our mission. Maybe this isn't the only company you want to build. Maybe you want to build multiple companies, and maybe you want to build things and exit companies. Like, this is how you do it. It's through the intention game. And it's a long tail approach. If you think about it with that terrible vanity mindset, like it's going to hurt you as you go. You're going to feel like everything just sucks, and then you're going to end up buying followers or something stupid. And it just, don't do that. Please don't do that. No bots, no fluff, no fake metrics, just clarity, cadence, community, and conversion. Like, that's it. It's the 4 C's, baby. Clarity, cadence, community, and conversion. In that freaking order, too. So what it took from 0 to 350 was $0 spent. I've said this word probably 100 times. It's trust. Like, reverse engineer stories to build a community. And I know that sounds wild if you say it like that, but I mean, if you know the end result you want and you know the problems you solve, like, find freaking entertaining ways to talk about it. That's not a sleazy, shitty way. And then package. This is the absolute most important. Film, format, deliver, and distribute. So we're going to put up 2 videos here that just kind of show you guys the packaging and just like kind of little iterations that we do that kind of make it fun for the platforms and for our consumer.
I took my daughter to see Taylor Swift, spent $3,500 on the tickets to see her. I went as a dad and I came home as a Swiftie. I'm like, I love that woman. Do you know why I paid $3,500 for those tickets? My 11-year-old daughter left there thinking bigger. I watched a person have 50 to 75,000 customers in one night. Generated $13 million in one night, and then she did it again the next night with 50 to 75,000 more people. Then she did it again the next night with 50 to 75,000 people. Whether you like her or don't like her, there's something, and I told my daughter, said, you know when she started doing this? 4 years old, 5 years old, playing the guitar. I remember seeing her in Nashville, Tennessee at the stadium at 13. And I told my buddy beside me, I said, man, I just don't know if she's gonna make it. She wasn't that good at 13. Boy, was I wrong. But I want you to think about that. The discipline of 20 years of a long obedience in the same direction.
And then data. The numbers are going to tell you the story. They're going to tell you what's working and what's not working and where you need to spend more time in. Make sure you can read this data. Like, go pull all your analytics together. It's so important. Like, don't just keep checking the box and slapping shit out there. Like, hammer in on it and build everything into it and post the content and do all this, test the formats, but look at where your consumers are falling off at. Okay, these obviously, these intros aren't hooking these people in because they're falling off at this point. Continue to get better. Like I said, we're trying to win Super Bowls here. If you go 0-5, like, you still got to go back to the drawing board. Same if you go 5-0, you're going back to the drawing board to do better for the next one, to get ready for the next one. Adjust your strategy and recycle. Pretty much it. That's the name of the game, is reverse engineer all these stories to build cool formats and get creative here. And then build a proper packaging system. Like, make sure your music is matching your tonality. Make sure these reels are something you would even freaking watch. Data, let it tell you the story. It's going to tell you where you need to reiterate more or what's working. So what to go even deeper in. And then adjust your strategy and recycle and keep going. This is you guys right here, because everybody, hopefully it's not you. You said it's going to be easy and quick, and then this is just a little kitty cat me over here like, dude, come on. You want to build a company and build long-term wealth. You don't take a microwaved approach to marketing. So why does this matter? And if you don't know this guy, he's hilarious.
There you go.
I put all these data points in here just because I thought it was hilarious. You know, I put smaller slides in here just so I have talking points to go over all these, little nuances to kind of build this strategy. But here is all the stats to give credibility to why you should be, doing this. So consumption, the average person spends 2 hours, 24 minutes per day on social media. And then 53% of users say discover new brands, products from short form video. That's HubSpot's 23. Users decide in under 3 seconds. This is why the hook point is freaking key. In under 3 seconds, they'll continue watching a video. They'll decide in under 3 seconds if they're gonna continue watching. And that's Meta internal data from last year in 2024. So dial in your hook points. I will help you on hook points as well. Use ChatGPT, but I'm also going to give you some books that you guys can read after this slide, and it gives you a hell of a lot of context to why and how. Credibility and brand trust. 88% of consumers say they trust a brand more when its leadership is visible online. Brands with strong social presence see 4.5 times higher conversion rates than those without. That's from Forbes. And then content demand and expectation. 82% of people prefer video over written content on social platforms. That's from Wiesel in 2024. Consistency matters. Posting 14 times per week generates 3 times more reach on average. That's later.com from 2023. I didn't even know that existed. This was just like the internal data that we built from our strategies. But yeah, 14 minimum. On TikTok and IG Reels, the algorithm rewards depth and regularity, not just virality. When the ultimate goal is not to become famous, the ultimate goal is to build trust, tell proper stories that build trust, or entertain somebody. Everybody has different goals at the end of this. So some of it's entertainment-based, some of it's service-based, some of it's married between the two formats, and they're having a good-ass time. Why most businesses fail at this. Only 1 in 10 businesses have documented content system. That's from the Content Marketing Institute. From all the people that we've done business with and partner with, I mean, yeah, I'd say it's probably pretty close. 75% of CEOs say they know content is important, yet have no plan or person owning it. And if they are, they're probably just checking the fucking box like most people do. And if you hate cuss words, they're going to slip throughout everything that you watch of ours. Buying followers and engagement triggers algorithm throttling, bans, shadow bans, and it says across meta platforms, but that's across every freaking platform. You got to understand, these platforms make money with eyeballs being on the platform because they make money from the advertisers that spend money to get those eyeballs. So if you're putting fake eyeballs on your stuff, they know that. They can read that data and say, okay, don't show this person's shit to anybody because we don't want our advertisers having a bad look on us because we're allowing people with fake followers to do sleazy shit. Play with the platforms. You're a partner to these platforms. Like, help them out. They'll help you out. And the Secrets to the Universe. When I see Secrets to the Universe, all books. Like, if you're not reading, you need to be. Like, I read a minimum 1 book a month, but I read that book. It used to be 3 to 5 times. Now it's like 2 to 3 times. I read the same book that month 2 to 3 times because I kind of learn different things within it. And plus, I do audiobooks. So, like, a lot of you guys think that's cheating, but I don't give a shit. I like them in the shower and I like them in the car. Just replace your music with audiobooks. And I'm already in the creative state when I'm driving anyway, so I just enjoy it. So Hook Point, this is from Brendan Kane. This is a killer book. It's going to teach you all the little nuances of why the hook point matters, how you can build better hook points, and the consumer data behind it that makes it make sense to what you're going to do. It's just a really good book. I definitely recommend it. And then 1 million followers. This is how he built a massive social media following in 30 days. This is through a strategic approach between organic and ads and taking a global approach to this. So this is good just to give you context further into how and what it takes to really build something big. If you want to funnel a bunch of attention through, this just shows you little wild ways to really build it. It even goes into showing you how you can build an international brand, and it's actually even cheaper to run ads in other countries. You can validate it there, and it gives you companies that have already done it. It goes through some crazy stuff. So that's a really good book as well. And then, of course, Gary Vaynerchuk, he does a phenomenal job with all of this. His personal brand is just on fire. A lot of people give him shit for the NFTs that he's got, whatever. I love the guy. I don't really know much about the NFTs, but, I trust him. So day trading attention. This is going to walk you through all of the platforms and, nuances behind it, how you can tweak formats, how can you read the data better. This gives you, literally step-by-step guide on how to do every piece of this and how to understand it and how to communicate back to the community, all of it. It really shows you all these little nuances that you can build in to really turn up the volume for what you're doing. And then Alex Hormozi, $100 million leads. And then he has another book, but I read them both. But I put this one up here because this really helps you, it really goes in depth through the organic and ads on this, and then how to really build that nurture sequences to really close the gaps to make that sale. So if you want to go more in depth on how to really get the conversions rolling and how to communicate and talk with people and sell, that's going to really give you more in depth. So these 4 books combined alone, and there's a bunch more, but I've thought of these 4 for this to give you quick context of all of this in one. So these 4 books combined with this webinar or video that you guys are watching, this will really, it gives you everything you need. It shows you how to hire your teams, how to talk to them, how to build formats, how to play with the platforms, what your posting cadence should be, and then how to turn up the volume for everything you're doing in your marketing and your branding. All right, so the best posting cadence, this is what we have found anyway. This is following the human cycle of attention. So best post times, you want to follow your local time zone because you're going to always roll off the IP of your time zone, and then you'll trickle into these other time zones. Monday to Wednesday, you want to get it in the morning, and you want it to be an hour before that human cycle of attention is like at its peak. That's where like typically we found the best. So like 6 to 8 a.m., that's when people are getting up, getting ready, getting rolling. A lot of people watch content in the morning before they even get out of bed. So that's where you want to be rolling, especially LinkedIn. LinkedIn you can hit super early at that 6 a.m., 7 a.m. mark. 10:30 to 12:30, that's right before that, lunchtime area for them to, and a lot of people are just doom scrolling the whole time they're on lunch. Then 4 to 6, that's that en route home from work, that commute into when they're coming home to sit on the couch, probably doom scroll. Hopefully they're not, hopefully they're doing good stuff, but, this is the human cycle of attention. So, and then 7 to 9, that's that window where they're going to lay down, go to bed, and then guess what people do when they lay down and go to bed? They doom scroll like crazy. So here we are. Through Thursday and Friday, still that 6 to 8 a.m., you still get that 10:30 to 12:30 and that 4 to 6, but you can actually post later. A lot of people are pumped up. They're getting ready for the last day of work and whatever. They're just stay up late. Thirsty Thursday, people stay out late if you want to take that in consideration. We posted stuff at like midnight on the Thursday. Actually went viral. It was really shocking. So 7 to 11, that's your window for that. Saturday, you do a 7 to 10 a.m. A lot of people sleep in on weekends based off, this cycle of attention. And then 11 to 2, you still got that roughly the same lunch-ish window. And then you get that 3 to 6 p.m. And then you also get 7 to 11:30 p.m. And you can really go into midnight on these. Sometimes, it does pop off. I just don't recommend it that much. It's like not that many do. So, and then Sunday, you're in a 7 to 10 a.m. window, and then 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then 3 to 6 p.m., and then 7 to 9 p.m. And this is just to start. Like, these are just little gaps of time that you should be putting those 2 posts a day. And there's multiple slots here. So just pick some and start running data up against it. And a good way to do it really is stick with one cycle for like 30 days or so and just kind of look back at it after and then switch your cycles mainly a little bit. And that's, the times. Obviously we're still posting every single day, twice a day. But we need to play with the times every like 30 days or 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is. But build up like at least a content window so you can actually look at the data and make a objective decision on what you should do next. So follow the human cycle. Why we should never use scheduling tools. As we're doing this and we finally got our times, we got our content, now it's time to like, boom, we're going to put this out to the world. And a lot of people think, well, damn, that's going to take forever, 2 posts a day. I don't even want to think about that. I'm just going to schedule these out in a scheduler for the month, and then I'll come back and look at it. Do not do that. These scheduling tools will bounce off IPs from fucking Canada to everywhere, like it's crazy. India, and then they'll make their way back here, and then it's just damaged. So don't do it. You're just going to destroy your performance and capabilities to really grow and do something. And even if you do get one to pop off, because I've had people argue, back at me and say, I had one to do like 800,000 on there. I was like, well, I probably would have done freaking 80 million if you would actually posted it, through the platform. So make sure you stay in hand-to-hand combat with the platforms. I know the tools seem like they would be, a great thing, and they are in theory, but they're just not ready yet. Don't schedule in the platform. You can schedule within the platforms. A lot of them internally, you can actually schedule within there. Test that, then test posting regular, like right there on the spot when the time is due. Play with both of those ways, but only inside the platform. You can do it in Meta if it's a business page. You can do it Instagram and Facebook in that and schedule those out. You can test that, but that's in the platform. That's not outside bouncing up off a bunch of IPs. Then the platform gets it, and then it's like feeling weird about it. Like I'm telling you, it just doesn't work. I wish it would, because it would make things a lot easy for our internal teams and then for everybody in the universe. I want to reiterate on the minimum posting cadence. Like I said, I put 3 earlier, but the absolute, really the minimum that you can do for long form is this one. So post at least 2 times per day on each platform. And you want to make these reels and then also trinkle in, static posts with it. So sometimes it's going to be a little bit more than 2 a day, but you want to do a minimum 2 a day, I'm telling you. This is how you build data and actually build up proper formats to really keep pushing up the performance on, all your platforms and your company. And then upload 1 long form video per week on YouTube, absolutely minimum. And most of the time when you're filming content and you're cutting up shorts from it, what you cut up shorts from will be that long form. So it shouldn't be too difficult for both of those to happen, even if you're only filming once a month and for like a couple hours. I'm telling you, like the minimum. Stay consistent and stay like foot on the gas, because we need to build up this database of data. I know it's weird to say like that, but like we need to have a whole full stack of data against all of the organic we put out, against the actual strategy that we have in place right now, so we can actually keep adapting that strategy, those posting times, the stories we're telling, the hook points, the music to the tonality. Like, are we matching that up good enough yet? Make sure you're looking at these things. Look at the text on the video. Is it in the proper eye line? These are little things that people really pay attention to. Like, is it easy to watch your video? So like when they're scrolling, does the text fall in the eye line? Is their eyes close to where my eyes are going to be able to look over at, so I can connect to it better? Because some people like flicker back and forth as they're watching. They want to see the eyes and they want to see the text, so they don't have to like think about it. You know what I mean? You want to make it easy to scroll. So like these little things matter, like where the text is, the music to the tonality of the voice. Does it even match? Does it like pull some emotions to the story? Like there's like, you are building micro movies here, and you really need to make sure your editors are treating them as such. And then the platforms you want to post on. These are just the 6 main ones right now. So LinkedIn, X, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Those are the main platforms you want to be posting on right now, minimum. There's probably other ones that work for a lot of other industries, like if you're selling like consumer-based products. So like Pinterest would be one if you're, consumer-based goods, like decoration, stuff like that. Don't just mirror your content the whole time. So this is like for the beginners mainly. If you've been mirroring someone's content to start building up your personality and your formats, start that way, but don't finish that way. You want to really find your voice, find your area of strength and what works better for you. Study the ecosystems for what would match best, but don't continue to only mirror that the whole time. Make sure you are starting to find your own voice, find your formats, find what's working for you. You always want to measure them against each other. That's how you find your voice. Like that's why we start with that, is you start with the mirror, then you start finding, okay, here's some little side nuances that I can do on a different format just because I'm starting to get more comfortable here now. And then you can kind of measure them up against each other with the data that you're seeing through this. And each platform has different audience behavior. So like LinkedIn's going to be a hell of a lot different than what you're doing over on TikTok. So you need to treat these platforms as such, talk to them in a different way. Read Day Trading Attention. It'll go into, even more depth on this, on how to really talk to each platform and how to really communicate to them, and tells you why this works, why you should treat them as such, 2 separate platforms. If you are starting, you can post them all at the same time to all the platforms, get some data back, get some initial data, but eventually you want to make sure you're talking to LinkedIn as LinkedIn audience. They have a business-oriented mindset. TikTok's more, a free-flowing mindset. They're going to be watching anything from motivation and business all the way to like just some crazy stuff that pops up. So, it's just different platform behaviors. So make sure we're paying attention to those and obviously playing that into, the strategy that you push out. Then as you continue to get this data, like mirror less and optimize even further. You'll find your voice eventually. So, study the ecosystem, start putting out content against, formats that were close to a high performer, but with your personality now on top of it, and then find your voice and then keep iterating. Simple beats cinematic every time. Don't overproduce. This is not Hollywood. People don't give a shit. Even Mr. Beast, like when he uses all of his crazy productions, like he still dummies all of his videos down to, 1920 by 1080, like easy on the eyes. Like don't overproduce all this shit. Keep it raw, be useful, and like easy to follow. Like make sure we're trying to build trust here. Like make sure this is stuff that you would even watch. And then be flexible and coachable on formats and the tools that you use to get your desired end result. This is for everybody on your team, and then you as the leader of your company as well. If you need to be super coachable and adjusting on what's working, what's not working, and separate yourself from the content a little bit. And it's going to get hard, especially if it's you putting out the content. You'll be a little too close to it, and you'll make very subjective opinions. You don't want to do that. Keep it simple, keep it raw, and create things that people want to watch still, Like, don't be boring. The science of the hook and how to, pull the heart into what they're watching. It's so important. It's everything. The hook and the music and the actual story. This is just everything. But it starts with that hook, that 3 seconds. You have to earn it, and then you're earning the next 3 seconds after that, the next 3 seconds after that. You're just garnering that trust for people to stay on this content. So strong opener, you want clear subtitles falling right at the eye line, and then your pacing too. Like you want to make sure, adding jump cuts when they need to be, like staying with the talent so you're not damaging the consumer eyeballs and making them work too hard. Like you want that story to just fall in their lap and freaking rip them in because you hit all the points from the hook to the story to the end to the music that match it. My subtitles were easily tracked. My talent didn't veer off and do some weird shit. There's not a bunch of like just weird stuff going on. Like keep it simple, keep it raw, and keep your text clear and get proper music that matches the tone of the voice. That's so important. If it doesn't match, it's gonna hurt their ears immediately. And you gotta think like that. And if the eye lines doesn't work, it hurts their eyes, it hurts their ears, and they're going to the next video. There's endless scrolling that they can do. Make them stop to watch what you have to say. And then how to, build a mentor into your team and for, what you're diving into. And this goes into playing with AI and using ChatGPT as as your partner in this. So create a dedicated thread specifically to your brand. And this could be buckets. Like this could be like create a project, and then under that project, there's different nuances. Like say this is just the overall business plan. Here's the content idea and strategy area. Here's the ad section. And then all these can learn from each other as well. So and we'll kind of throw up a little screen recording if we need to, if that makes more sense for the editorial team right now, to show them what I'm talking about here. If you don't want to sit there and type in or use the voice memo right now, upload transcripts from your videos. If you already have a bunch of videos out there and things that you've already talked about, upload them in there and then get on top of it and say, define everything. Say, hey, this is my mission based off all the content that you've seen. This is the desired end result that I want. This is the team that's working on these things. Here's our strengths. Here's our weaknesses. Here's our desired outcome. Can you build and reverse engineer all these things and just help us grow as we continue to build this out and turn up the volume for our marketing? And then it's going to go bloop, and then you're going to have an endless best friend in there that's going to objectively shape you as you go. It's going to help you define, how to put people in the right buckets for your teams and everything. And it's going to remember everything from your teams to what you're doing to the end results. You can even upload your analytics into that, and it can help be like a little, assistant to what you're doing even on a deeper level. Make sure you do that. Talk to it like crazy too. Tell it absolutely everything, all of it. And do the voice thing. Just talk to it. You don't have to sit there and type and hurt your hands or anything, typing all that. And then this becomes a mission-fed assistant that scales your execution. It really does. I use it. Our whole teams use it all the time. Play with AI. This shit's real. It's coming. It's here. And more products are going to continue to roll out, and you need to be in tune with everything. It just makes you more efficient. Not even just for this, but in your entire life. This is the new game. This is the 4-part engine. This strategy and this layout of what to do is for you if you're tired of posting into the void with no traction. You already know you're great, but no one has been seeing your stuff. You're ready to turn your brand into inbound opportunities, deals, and real momentum. We've seen crazy things happen for our clients, as far as increasing their sales and revenue to getting crazy strategic partnerships, from investment opportunities with them to dialing in and partnering up and doing other things, and then into bigger stages. If your goal is to get on bigger stages, if your goal is to be on bigger podcasts to share their audience and really help people, this is the only way you can really do so. And it's building up a ton of attention. And where is everybody's attention right now? Typically it's on their phone. That's how we find them. High percentage of that, it needs to be through video content. The name of the game right now as we sit in this current day and age. So things will evolve, I'm sure. I don't really think video is going anywhere. It's really the number one way to really build anything, to build any attention around anything. It needs to be through video content. So get creative with it and get wild with it. Treat this like you want to win Super Bowls too. The same thing you would do with your business. You continue to reiterate and build better systems to make a better desired outcome for your ideal buyer. And all your clients and customers and everything as well. So, treat this the same. This is just building attention around you so you can even amplify that even more. This system is for people that are ready to really pull the trigger. If you can't handle the attention that comes to your business, work on your business first to make sure you have the infrastructure to really hammer on this even further. but then just go. Like, attention is the currency that you want. It leads to everything, to more deal flow, sales, increases everything, and honestly, it finds all the holes in your company. It finds where your marketing problem's falling off, or is it a sales problem that we're not closing? Like, how's our nurturing going? It kind of identifies all the pain points that you need to be focused on as an operator as well, or for your operators to focus on. This is it. This is how you really move the needle for your company. So to reiterate on all of this, minimum 2 reels per day across all of the 6 main platforms, mainly those. If you need to do more, do more. But 2 posts a day, follow the hot times, follow the human cycle of attention, and then make sure those videos are having a good hook point to really pull that viewer in and tells a really good story, actually gives them value or entertains them, or both. And then it has good, proper music that really matches the tonality. And then it has subtitles on it that do not hurt the eyes. And then you don't want to hurt the eyes with the talent either. You want to make sure they're in a nice area for the eye line to naturally follow them, where they're not immediately wanting to scroll because you cause irritation towards what they were going to go find. They're not going to give you a chance. So, like, those little things make it an easy, natural point to get that first 3-second opportunity to earn. And then once you get that first 3 seconds, then you can start to, trickle in the next window of the 3 seconds to really build in, proper viewership and proper attention to build a community across these platforms. And then you want to be doing the 1 per week video on YouTube. And a lot of times, if it's coming from a podcast or if you're documenting the content, you can probably play that into even like audio sources as well. Like, if you want to cut a podcast out of it and put on audio platforms, it's very easily to do almost all of these things in one little sweep here, but then be strategic about how you package for each layer, from the reels to the long form to the audio that goes out. The same thing with the nuances that we talk about with short form content, as far as, the eye line and everything as well. That plays into the same thing for, YouTube long form. You want to have a nice hook that just shows all the things they're going to learn real quick, or the best moment from this long form, and then boom, roll right into it. Don't waste any time. No one cares about who you are yet. So don't waste time with telling them your name or anything like that. Like, get to it, dive into the problem you're about to solve in this video, then solve that problem. Hook them at the beginning, and then, roll into it properly and keep tweaking with that data. Start testing these thumbnails too. Some of the best creators and high performers in the world, like, they put out multiple A/B test thumbnails to really entice that click-through rate to turn up the volume. Even if you're doing one, make sure you're testing to get better at this, and find some people on Fiverr if that's what you need to do, or whatever you need to do to really start getting into these nuances properly. We need to treat this like a sport, and we need all these pieces to work together to get our desired end result. Make sure we're playing with those right. Like, put the descriptions in there of what this video is going to talk about, solve the problem for, build those timestamps that makes your SEO and search on that even better for this video to be shown to even more people, and then still continue following that human cycle time for long form as well. You can test those same times that I showed you for the short form post for your long form as well. And you'll find that hotter day and the hotter post time to really start working against, following that human cycle time for long form as well. You can test those same times that I showed you for the short form post for your long form as well. And you'll find that hotter day and the hotter post time to really start working against. And the only thing we've really talked about through this whole thing is the organic side of how we do this. We start that way because it cleans up every process you're going to do for when you do paid ads. Organic gives you your best creative for paid ads, because you'll have numbers against some of the videos you post, and they'll actually work very well for general awareness ads that you can put out just to get even more followers. And that's not buying followers, by the way. When Friends was hot, they had better episodes than others, so they would push these better episodes on the network so that more people could watch them and stay with. They knew that people were going to stay on these episodes. The data showed that they stayed and watched these ones way more. So they just keep putting them out. That's what you want to think about when you run awareness ads. So take your higher performing pieces of content, run them against your audience, whether that's the audience you have built on social through those demographics, or your customer demographics. I would do both, and then just start pushing for followers. You don't want to really do any hard call to action on that. You're just trying to build awareness for your trust factor. You know what I mean? You want to continue to close that gap on the trust factor. That's a really good way to play into your ad strategy. And then plus, for those hard call to actions, Most people don't take the call to action immediately on your ad. They're going to click your profile to even see if you're full of shit or not. So having all this organic behind it, it validates for that call to action for them to go forward, if that makes sense. Like, it gives you that validation. Like, most people, they really won't just click and buy. And then typically they're not going to even buy until you retarget and keep going and keep diving in on them. They may follow you because you already started to validate that. So, like, that's why organic first is a really good approach, because it fine-tunes everything you're going to do at a later time. And you can do these both together, but it's only going to bring your organic's going to continue to push up this strategy too as you keep going. So say you're doing them at the same time and this one's getting better, like this one's going to climb up with it too. So like, you don't have to wait to run ads. You know, a lot of times we do, just because we know what it's going to do on the back end and how it really converts people. And it gives you a bunch of data against it. And plus, when you run ads and you already have a lot of organic built up, it just validates, makes that purchase or that follow a lot easier for that person to take. We can dive into that too if you guys are interested too. I have more of an ad structure to this, but that $100 million leads that I showed you earlier against with this organic strategy that I've already given you will help you amplify all of these pieces together. So, use all these tools together and don't be sleazy. We all have something to say. We already all have businesses and do things, and I've already solved problems and done something up to a certain level. It's time to really turn up the volume for what you're doing on your branding and marketing. And if you want to play with the big dogs and you're tired of seeing shitty numbers or low engagement or low numbers, you need to be playing this high performance level. And I know you're tired of seeing all these goofballs do a lot better than you in the attention game. And you, I'm sure, have a fire in you that feels like you should be there. If you use this strategy, this will take you there. Will it be in 6 months like we did for Coach? Maybe. Play the game with a long tail approach in mind. You're in this for a long haul to build long-term wealth. And, you want to build maybe multiple companies or exit companies eventually. Take a long-form approach to your branding and marketing. It's not a microwave. But do this at a high level, at minimum of the cadence that we talked about here, and continue to be coachable and reiterate all the things you're doing. We're going to go ahead and give you guys a guideline checklist too, now that you guys watch this, that can keep your teams accountable for what they're doing. It goes over all of these pieces and all these nuances at a deeper level that you can actually make sure your teams are holding accountable, or yourself is being held accountable. And if this just sounds like a crazy amount of work and you don't even want to think about any of this, we are very exclusive on how we take on clients. So you guys fill out this sheet that we're going to have for you right here on this QR, and we will actually do all of this for you. It's like getting the 96 Bulls to help you win championships. Like, we're the Michael Jordan, the Scottie Pippens on our team, and we build rock stars. So if you want us to build you up like we have built up Coach Burt and many others, fill out that form. We'll see if, it's a good partnership or a good fit. But I mean, if there's a fire burning in you and you are just ready to turn up the volume across your business, your brands, your company, your personal brand, fill out that sheet. We'll see if we're a good fit, and we'll turn up the volume for you. Rather you have us do it, we want to give you guys something no matter what. So this is, a free webinar. It walks you through on how to implement a high-level performance system with your team or by yourself. And then we're going to give you a checklist for free to hold yourself accountable. But for the ones that are just like, I want the 96 Bulls of Marketing to do all this for me, welcome to Evy Media, and we'll take care of you.